Hi everyone, this is Samit from Talks on Ground. Good evening. How are you? Uh, so I'm coming live from you for you from New Delhi in India. This is about Trump's new FBI chief Kash Patel. He was confirmed by the Senate last night India time, and you must have gotten that news. So this is a big deal. Now remember, FBI chiefs. FBI stands for Federal Bureau of Investigation, which you might know about. It handles all investigations, inquiries into corruption and other criminal things in the US. So it's a very big organization. It spans across 200 countries. It has 38,000 employees. So it's a very big deal. Um, Not only does it have operational power, but it also has a lot of leeway when it comes to um investigating people and doing a lot of policing work, which cannot be like unclassified easily. Anyhow, this guy Kash Patel is a really a firebrand leader in his own right, and there's a reason why Trump has chosen him. Now, there was the most controversy that we had apart from Kash Patel was for Tulsi Gabbard. Tulsi Gabbard has taken over as the director of national intelligence. Now, DNI. So Tulsi Gabbard will be briefing Trump every day, or very frequently about um, events around the world, whatever the intelligence is following up, and all of that. But Kash Patel is more focused on internal investigations. So he will span his role will be across all of America. So it's a very big deal in terms of the order that America is now going into. Now I'm going to just introduce this guy to you so that we all know who this guy is and why has he been selected. Is he the right selection? Obviously, Democrats don't think so. A lot of independents might have questions. I'm sure you might have seen this, you might know about this, but I thought it'll be a good thing to just share a brief overview of his career and what he comes up with. So he was born in New York in 1980. He is, of course, of Indian origin. His parents are Gujaratis, and it seems they've lived in Uganda before they came immigrated into the US. And he has a BA in history and criminal justice, and then he did his JD from Pace University, which allows him to argue any case in a US court. Then he also had a certificate in international law. So he's a lawyer by training, and obviously he's an expert in criminal justice. So no big deal about that in reality. But then, when he was just 26, he was handling complex criminal cases as a public defender. You might know that as a public defender, you don't get that much of money. You know. Uh, then he was in DOJ for about 3 years. He was in the National Security Division. Counterterrorism was his focus. Now, remember, he comes in to this job with a lot of um, rhetoric around what he's going to do to the deep state or the so-called deep state, and he's going to go after a lot of people he think has have harmed the US or its interests in the last few years. He was on the House Intelligence Committee from 17 to 19. In other words, uh, he was part of the Trump first term, and he was a senior counsel for counter-terror. He was in the National Security Council as a senior director for counter-terror, and in DoD, the chief of staff to the acting Secretary of Defense. So he has slowly risen the ranks, and he's obviously been in public service. His focus area I think from 2014 onwards has been on counter-terror, and he has stated publicly that he's going to be very hard on terror issues. So his achievements have been that he led the operation to eliminate the ISIS leader Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi. There is a very famous book that he authored called the Newness Memo. I have not read it, but people who have read it think that it's like an expose on FBI surveillance misconduct. This came out in 2018, and he has advocated for intelligence and law enforcement um, transparency. He has been confirmed as the FBI director as of yesterday, and he is going to restructure FBI and reduce political bias and focusing on restoring public trust in the bureau. So that's about him. I thought it's good to like have a CV in front of us before we speak about him. He's a firebrand. He talks straight. I saw some of his confirmation hearing, and I thought he was very. Um, he means business, and he doesn't come from any political background as such, and therefore he's going to be somebody who's going to carry out what Donald Trump wants him to. So I think uh, with Tulsi Gabbard, and here you have Kash Patel. These are two outsiders coming into the agency, and both of them happen to be Hindus. So that's quite odd for the US. So not only are these non-Christians, they are both Hindus. One of them is a white American who converted to Hinduism, while Kash is an immigrant. There was some backlash against Kash Patel initially from some radical sections of Republicans, but over time, I think that has died down. And I think once he starts to deliver on some of the things that Trump and his team has been talking about, maybe he'll be accepted as one of them. So I don't know what you think, but I think this is a major move by Donald Trump to, as he has been saying, he's going to clean up the swamp and take over Washington D.C. This is a move which puts Trump's control directly over the intelligence community. So he's got Tulsi and he's got Cash, and they've got a CIA guy as well. I don't know his name right now, but with that, I think he has a very strong, very non-traditional kind of team, and that's going to cause um, the Democrats or the liberals or the opposition, whatever you call it, some heartache because obviously they're going to take a different direction. So how this will play out will be what kind of cases will Kash Patel pick up? So he's going to go hard on say narcotics cases. He's going to go hard on terror. He's going to go hard on immigration. He's also going to be hard on any sponsorship of any of these things. So people are going to be um, kind of these are changes that have been kind of in the works for the last 30 years, but they haven't happened. And we have heard and seen that cases like these will drag, or there will be witnesses who don't come about, or something was stopping these agencies, whether in the US or in India. These kind of cases went slow. And in the US, the system works very differently. I must confess, more efficiently than India, but no less corrupt. And therefore, the fact is that there is a good chance that a lot of people who should have been, ought to have been prosecuted for, say, helping some ISIS people get into the US from the southern border or from the northern border, or run drugs or get illegal immigrants. All these guys can go behind bars, or at least an attempt can be made. So a lot of people are going to be very nervous in the next few days, because the coming weeks and months, uh, one wonders what Biden is the wrong guy to name here, but what the liberals or Obama team can do here, they can stall all of these things in the courts. That's the same strategy that has been employed, adopted by the opposition in India. They just go to the courts and they try and stall every decision, every move, every appointment, every radical change that the Modi government tries to make, whether it is to do with immigration or to do with economics or to do with electoral laws or whatever. So their strategy is simple. They will take a PIL, which is a public interest litigation, into the Supreme Court, or make it through the lower courts to the Supreme Court and try and stall it there. And I must say 60, 70, 80% of the time they are successful. Obviously, the courts can't be 100% on their side, otherwise, there'll be um, less material for them to defend that they are fair. I must say that the US seems to be going in that direction with what happened with US aid. There is a lot of there are a lot of legal cases going on about it. So I would have to confess that there is a serious case of Trump decisions getting stalled in the courts. The good thing for the Trump administration is that the Supreme Court in the US has a Republican majority, or at least conservative majority. So, therefore, they can expect on some key issues the Supreme Court might lean on their side. However, this is a very important, very interesting, very impactful appointment, and one which has reverberations all across the world and including in India, because he's of Indian origin. He's from Gujarat. He's a Hindu, so there is some sort of I won't say celebration, but some sort of happiness that a guy like that has been appointed the head of FBI. But I would say the more impact is on the US, and US polity is going to uh, be set for a change for a long time. Remember, the appointment is for 10 years, and therefore it's not like he'll have a short tenure and ousted. Of course, he can be ousted by the next administration, but that depends on the number of seats they have in Senate and so on. So I think in the months and years to come, this will be a major, major turning point when it comes to crime. So this was Summit from Talks on Ground. Have a good evening. Hope you enjoyed this. Do comment and subscribe and share this video with whoever you would like it to watch as well. Goodbye.